well he plays, because that was definitely a good Tracer game by him. It just doesn't seem to be enough. They got rid of Timeless, they brought in new players, but it still doesn't seem to be enough to get RPG back on the winning track. Maybe they can do it this time on Infernal Shrines, the map picked once again by SPT.
Let's see what they can do with this as we are loading into the Infernal Shrines. And the bans, of course, will be taken first by RPG, as this is an SPT map choice.
That it is. Let's see what RPG wants to do. Very happy, by the way, that Melody Z was finally able to show us what he's got on heroes like Li Ming. Earlier he played Zagara. And it's easy to say that he also seems to be one of the most flexible player that we have. You know, switching roles every now and then. He can play additional supports like Tassadar, for example. But he can also go for specialists and ranged assassins. This guy is really hard to put down. And that also explains why there are some players, Melody C being one of them, that even the Korean players respect.
This is true. So now, with Maiev being removed right away, no time for that at all. What are RPG going to be bringing out here as the first pick? Malfurion is available, which would be a consistent standard. Yeah, I'm feeling Malfurion or Alexstrasza. I guess this is Infernal Shrines. I keep forgetting about just how high the priority rises on this map.
Yeah, Infernal Shrines. Alexstrasza could be one of those supports. I mean, we've seen what this hero can do for Beyond the Game. It was just crazy. Single-handedly keeping them, you know, on top of KT with Golden Cleansing Flames and Dragon Queen Madness. So let's see. Are there any heroes, by the way, that you... Like, if there was one hero that you can summon out of thin air, which one would it be?
What, just in real life or in the game, like, right now?
You know what? I didn't even think about real life, but let's put it on that train. In real life.
Oh, cool.
Let's put it this way, all right? Which hero would you summon out of thin air as a co-caster for HGC China?
Oh, as a co-caster? Abathur. Just like, because I can go full play-by-play and he can go full analysis. So I can go, and that's a huge kill, and that was really nice to be played. It was a logical decision.
Dude, you could basically be sure that Abathur would be never wrong. He would never deliver wrong analysis. I'm loving it.
Yeah. Essence flawed, must improve. Oh dear. Yeah, no, yeah. Abathur, I think, would be a good co-caster. Methinks he'd also be a good one to summon in real life because I'd always have backup in whatever I'm doing.
Yeah, people, you know, who only know Abathur through Heroes of the Storm, they only know him as this frail, vulnerable being that can't really duel any other hero. But if you've played StarCraft, for example, or, you know, you watched the Mecha trailer, you know, would know that Abathur is huge in real life.
Yeah, he's pretty big. Hard to deal with. As we see Zeratul coming in here, very Protoss heavy for RPG to begin this draft.
Absolutely true.
Also, the other option would be Chen, because I'm really curious what his brew tastes like.
I can definitely see that. I would definitely... it's hard for me to choose one, to be honest. I guess Murky as a hype cast would be pretty insane. We have no idea what he's saying, but it sounds awesome. Let's hire this guy.
I mean, if you picked Cho'Gath, you could do a tricast.
Yeah.
Quadcast with the Vikings.
Most of the... Oh, my goodness, the Vikings. Oh, what has happened to the Vikings, man? When was the last time we saw them in Pro Play? Do you remember?
HGC Europe, last weekend.
Oh, who played it? I must have missed that game.
Picked by Team Liquid to counter Abathur on Towers of Doom, and it dominated.
There we go. Who played it? Hazu?
Just like all said, just like, oh, we haven't seen him in ages. And I'm like, it was happened like 3 days ago.
Did Hazu play it?
Yes, he did.
Oh man, those Warcraft 3, StarCraft 2 micro and macro skills still available. I'm loving it.
Deckard banned out here. Very nice. Very nice. He's just been so impactful since he has joined the professional scene. And with Malfurion already taken, he is second in priority, it seems.
You know what? I'm just gonna give a shout out to BC Lumas. because I see that beautiful orange badge there in the Twitch chat, and he's been committing and supporting Heroes Esports with over 50,000 bits. What a champ. What a guy.
That's a lot of bits. So many bits. Well done. Cool guy.
I wonder if BC Loomis has also supported the Chinese scene. BC Loomis, can you show us a Chinese cheer?
All of your show us all of your cheers. Put them all in one message. That's what we want to see as we wait for the next pick for SPT. They already have Hanzo. So Blaze and Johanna are still available, so they could just go for the really classic combo here.
All right. So far, nothing out of the ordinary. RPG is trying to go for that Zeratul play once again. I mean, it gave them the only victory so far in their relatively young 2018 Phase 2 HGC career. Can they do it again? Oh!
Cool. Stitches and Leoric coming in here. That's pretty great. That's pretty great. Being able to get the hooks and being able to get a hook into Entomb or into Malfurion roots, that is a good opening here.
I am loving it. Stitches, you know, okay. I'm going to vouch for Stitches. I think he's easily one of the most underrated heroes in the pro scene, with the exception of Dignitas. I'm definitely going to exclude our good friend JPL here, because he still knows, right, what power lies deep within the Stitches. But China, I want to see now how Misaka is going to play. I can't exactly recall Misaka being a legendary Stitches player. I'm not even sure how often he's played it on camera.
He's definitely played it before, but I do not know how many times. I will find out right now. But yeah, he's definitely played it before. I know that much, and he did win with it at least once.
Okay.
Junkrat. Oh, they're back to the VP Riptire combo. Worked well last.
VP Riptire. Of course, we also have the Uther, and you know what? With pick comms like Stitches, I think Uther is actually a golden choice. He does have access to a cleanse. He could also use the Divine Shield to protect someone.
3 games on Stitches. 1 win on Stitches. You want to hear something amusing? That means that Simba has more games on Stitches than Misaka has in professional play.
More wins as well? That's where it's starting to get really embarrassing?
Definitely not more wins. Definitely not more wins, unfortunately.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, that would be the ultimate disgrace.
Okay, now I have to check, because who knows, maybe he does.
Oh boy. For those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, we're not talking about the Lions King here. We're referring to Simba, the former...
Or the StarCraft 2 Pro.
Was Simba a StarCraft 2 Pro?
Different Simba.
Ah, okay. Then we're not talking about the StarCraft Pro either. But Simba, of course, used to be the team manager for Team SPT.
He still is.
He still is. There we go. Thanks for updating me. And he's still, you know, like he used to jump into the breach when they had visa issues or they needed to have an additional player and someone couldn't make it. To pretty poor success. Is that Zarya, by the way? What the hell is going on here?
That is interesting. Expulsion zone to close the Entomb, perhaps. Extra shielding to protect them from the Zeratul Junkrat burst. They can bring it together a little bit later on. It's interesting. It's a unique SPT draft, but this is exactly what we wanted. We wanted them to stray out of the meta and react to the actual picks here. Oh, hang on. I need to do some maths here. Because Simba has at least 1 professional win on Stitches, so he at minimum has an equal amount of wins as Misaka does on this hero.
Absolutely amazing. Now, I think Melody C is probably going to play the Zarya. He's probably the most flexible player that they have, and also you don't want to get lucky off his Hanzo, which is one of his go-to heroes. I could also imagine a Graviton surge here, by the way, for the Zarya. The ability has been buffed numerous times for the most recent balance update, most importantly in terms of cooldown reduction. So now if you miss it, it's not going to be as punishing as it used to be. So is it going to be the Expulsion Zone or the Graviton? We're going to find out in a bit here. Game number 2 between SPT and RPG. And
go for it. After you.
No, I don't want to do it anymore. Now it's your turn.
Okay, let's just falling off the right-hand side. Chicken on Phoenix, and they're gone. And a pause. MJ on Uther, wrong on Zeratul, and... Oh.
And here we've got, take SPT as well.
Okay, SPT Lucky on Hanzo, Melody C on Zarya, Misaka on Stitches, Soap on Leoric, and ZCH on Malfurion. That was a disaster.
Alrighty then, guys. We have a little bit of a pause going on here. I don't think it's anything special, so remain calm. Don't freak out, We're going to be back relatively soon.
Yeah. I've done the maths, by the way.
Boom.
Simba has played 6 games, won 1. Misaka has played 3 games, won 1. So at least he has a higher win rate.
Saved. Honor restored.
That would have been very embarrassing. Yes. Was less than stellar when we saw Simba, but it was fun. But now Misaka going to, if he wins this, give himself a 50% Stitches win rate.
Yeah, there we go. I think that is legitimately the only reason why they ended up picking it. Misaka, he took command, he took charge, and like, boys, I can't let this stand. I can't let this, go with me to the grave. I need to have at least a 50% win rate on Stitches.
The blemish on my record must be cleaned.
Here lies Misaka, a person who never made it to 50% win rate. Shame on him. No access to heaven granted.
All right, we are loaded in, back again, and paused again. Sorry for the momentum shifting, guys. The fun, though, SPT, as a roster, have a 50% win rate on Zarya after 14 games.
14 games.
It's quite a few games.
Now, normally you're kind of used to seeing Zarya on maps like Brax's Holdout. Ha, good joke. We're never going to see it here. Nah, eventually we're going to see it, I'm pretty sure, especially in round 2. And maybe maps like, I would say, sometimes Cursed Hollow when you want to trade side lanes, because Zarya normally pushes faster than most other heroes if she absorbs the tower shots and gets full charged energy. But I can't really recall it too much in Infernal, although I see the advantages she offers, right? With Graviton Surge, maybe, in those Shrine phases, or Explosion Zone to basically... split and isolate people. I'm quite excited to see that.
Yeah, I'm feeling Expulsion Zone just because it's a little bit more effective usually, but it looks like we are back in once again. But yeah, I'm feeling the Graviton Surge, the Expulsion Zone, just because it's better for zoning, etc. But like you said, with Dragon Arrow or if Twilight Thanks, Brain. It's been a long week for me. With Twilight to Dream, they could have the Wombo, but this could be set up as equally as well with Expulsion.
Do we want to go full Overwatch roleplay and go for Graviton and Dragon Strike?
How 2017 of you. That sounds absolutely marvelous. As the hook lands, root lands. Can they get him? No, they can't. Too early.
Unfortunately, it is C, tanky dwarf with an escape as well, so no kill confirmed up to this point. Misaka already rotating back to the middle, so they won't miss out on XP. Up to this point, we see the aggressive Stitches build, by the way, JPL style, if you will, going full slam. And I think it's justified to do that, actually, because they already have a dedicated support, and Zarya on top of that is going to protect Stitches, if need be, with a shield. So I think it is totally fine for Stitches to go for as much DPS as possible.
Which is going to be marvelous. Protects your drop some damage onto people, and also with that extra radius on your extra area, on your cone later on for your slam, you have a good chance of revealing Zeratul, which is going to be a very nice extra pressure. Yeah,
speaking of Zeratul reveal, there's actually almost not a single hero who could do it. The Moonfire on Malf, the grenades, especially from Zarya, with the grenade build, lower cooldown, bigger radius on those as well. It's going to make it super easy for them to find the Zeratul. And Wrong, on the other hand, it's going to be a lot of pressure on him to find those good angles. Speaking of pressure, Stitches getting knocked back into the ranks of RPG. And down goes the fatty.
Stitches is down. And interestingly enough, Malfurion does actually have a reveal-based talent at level 1. No idea what it's called, never been picked. Actually, no, it was picked yesterday in Open Division. I can't remember if it won or not, but most people prefer the speed because it keeps Malfurion a lot safer.
Yeah, it also amplifies his damage, I believe, on targets affected by the Moonfire. With his auto attacks, though, not sure. You know, it's always such a difficult choice to make. Yeah. Sometimes you want to go crazy on the supports, and sometimes you want to just deliver a little bit of extra damage. But usually it's not worth it. Usually Nature's Swiftness is still the way to go. Now look at that early push coming in here from RPG. The Impalers keeping the minions at bay, destroying one tower already. Phoenix Chicken's superior range is just super convenient in those moments. But here comes the Shrine. It's now activated in Leoric. Soap is already on his way.
He is on the way up there. In fact, already going to start, give his team a 10 lead right away. Chicken teleports away because they realize, oh man, they're just taking this. We should probably react, and they're going to begin to rotate up to this top area.
Look at Soap, how much work he's been doing with that outstanding wave clear granted from Leoric. And I think RPG, they realize, you know what, we're not going to make it there in time, so let's try to catch off a straggler here and maybe isolate them and take them out. Even without that, though, even without the Shrine, look at that beautiful damage by Soap. The level 4 talent, Neil Peasants, is definitely going to start and kick in on those little skeletons. 30, they need 10 more.
Well, Soap's going to need to be alive for Neil Peasants, as that was a very nice kill by RPG, giving them a little bit of freedom time to start burning down and beginning the race, but it's still 30-7, like you said. SPT moving back onto the point, and RPG, I think, have resigned themselves to this.
Soap today has been the master of tactical feeding and dying for noble causes, I feel. Like, whenever he's going in, he usually draws a lot of attention from the enemy team, and he usually makes sure to get maximum value from it so his teammates can shine. Now, let's see how much pushing power SPT will have here. They do have Zari, which is a really good building shredder. They also have a purple Punisher with those Arcane turrets on the ground. Can certainly assist taking down more structures. Look at that. Good hook onto Phoenix, but the cleanse from Uther equally is good, and Phoenix is back to safety. Never mind, down goes him.
The Melody C grenades and the lucky arrows just chunked him down as he was busy distracted, trying to do some damage onto Stitches, but guess what? Too tanky. As both towers go down, that's all the damage that's going to be done, but that kill makes it worth. They're going to try and grab another one here. See, tanking through it though, still ate a lot of shots.
Yeah, and also see now being at 40% health, preventing the healing here. Lucky that is, with another scatter arrow. I think that might be enough. Ooh, almost catching MJ here. The roots are good as well, but that might actually be enough damage to threaten this fort a little bit more. But no, they're running out of minions, so they're going to have to retreat for now.
Junkrat's disruption really helping out with that defense, forcing the minions to split, which meant they weren't attacking as long, meaning less damage onto the fort, which meant the fort could kill them quicker, meaning it is still alive and less in immediate danger.
Okay, Melody C takes that Stormbolt to the face with a kiss, because, oh, look at that spray. Soap realizes, you know what, you guys have nothing what it takes to beat me here. Dropping a casual SPT spray. Not actually sure what the rules in China are on spraying. I think in the Western HGCs it's not really that common and well received.
The rules on spraying are that you can spray whatever you like as long as it is not considered BM and you're not allowed to use animated sprays. But overall, spraying is not very regulated at all.
Okay. So most people are probably doing it with their standard HGC sprays, because that is definitely safe there, I would say.
I would agree. As we can see, little shots coming in here and there from both teams, trying to poke each other down, but you can see RPG staying very far back, SPT staying even further back, as they didn't want to get themselves caught out in the lane, at least for the moment, against level 10 as SPT. Stitches takes some damage, but tanking through it for the moment, and now they finally have their own level 10s. Are we going to see a Gorge, perhaps, to maybe sneak someone away? There's an expulsion zone coming in from Zaya, which makes me feel the Gorge, but no, it is going to be the Putrid Bile.
SPT, they let their memes be dreams here. No, no Dragon Strike plus Graviton combo that we're so used to from the earlier Overwatch days. Instead, they're going standard Expulsion and Tomb, and of course, the Dragon's Arrow. So lots of CC available, lots of trapping tools available as well. Let's see what they can make happen with it.
The mercenaries, fallen shamans, being picked up by both teams just in time for this bottom objective. This is exactly where you want to when you want to capture these, so that you can put the maximum amount of pressure in the lane that your opponents are not in. This is the idea behind it. As such, both Junkrat and Leoric attempting to pre-clear the lanes so that this damage will be going onto structures as opposed to onto minions as quick as possible. However, Junkrat with the expulsion, with the concussive mine, and with reinforcements, will be able to clean up the opponent's fallen shaman camp. However, this will give SPT a head start on the objective.
Absolutely true. Lucky's already doing his work there with the explosive shots at level 4. Soap is going to be a little too late to the party, though, but he definitely needs to wipe this fallen shaman off the map here. Otherwise, that would even mean, or that could even mean, that they're going to lose a fort in the top lane. Now, Wrong has the Void Prison, of course. The moment SPT tries to group up here, they're going to try to make sure to lock them in. That's exactly what they did. What about the follow-up, though? Not really much to be used. That was a defensive VP to keep Zeratul alive in the first place.
Yeah, so as such, no Riptide follow-up this time. Instead, Wrong just backing up, and that is a pretty big heroic to not have up, as the Dragon Arrow also becomes a pretty big heroic to not have up. Putrid Bile being dropped as Misaka chooses to try and zone out Chicken to buy his team some time, and as such, they will not only achieve the objective here, they will also grab a Junkrat kill. Nicely done with that hook, Misaka.
And it couldn't have come at a better moment in time here, because Junkrat is probably one of the safer heroes to chip down the health of the Punisher. Now, without the CC that Disengage Junkrat provides, I think it's pretty safe for SPT to just waltz in there. They don't have to worry about concussion mines and riptires and all that jazz. So SPT, the hooks on point. We haven't seen a lot of those flashy hooks yet, but the hooks that did need to land, they definitely made sure that they landed.
Yes, they did, and that is really good news for SPT, as they now have control of the map. Taking down that bottom fort, first fort of the game, gives them the ability to grab these Impaler camps. They're not the most effective camp in the game. In fact, I would argue they're potentially some of the weakest. But with vision being gained, they will at minimum grab this
broccoli. Look at him go, providing vision and taking down the fountain with his goat friends. Happy little sieging going there. So Misaka, they're really having a lot of wave clear to fall back on, and wave clear is so important when you run a Stitches composition. Why? Because minions can intercept those hooks, so all of a sudden, if you're running out of those tools, right, Stitches is going to have to wait ages until he finally gets one of those much desired hooks onto enemy heroes. And no simple geometry completed. Wrong going in aggressively, but the Zarya shields are keeping them safe and sound for now.
Dragon Arrow hits Zeratul. Divine Shield has to be popped here, as he's already dropped the VP down. They continue to push forward, though. Misaka eating as so much damage just for the sake of trying to get this Purification Salvo. Misaka just tanking through everything that's thrown his way. And the Entomb, a little bit late.
A little bit late there, the hook also missing, but what's more important for SPT is the fact that they destroyed that Riptire. Otherwise, I think Misaka might have been absolutely getting taken down. Now, let's see. Soap, man, he continues to be that side lane menace. Not even wrong in the Zeratul. Seems to have what it takes to stop him up to this point. And I gotta say, I like what SPT is doing. I mean, their composition is a little harder to execute than normal because of Zarya not really being a top-tier hero pick here. And RPG is playing this pretty well up to this point. They have a lot of disengage as well with the Junkrat, the Void Prison, the Uther Cleanse, and Divine Shield. So, never mind. Did drop the ball there a little bit.
Chicken eats a little bit of scatter arrow damage, but it's nothing too much to be dealt with for the moment. However, all of SPT's heroics back off cooldown, except for Malfurions, and doesn't really have to worry about that. Merlisi, you may wonder, why is he eating those tower shots? He's not draining mana or anything. Reason is just getting energy so that he can do maximum amount of damage output onto these forts. Misaka, little slam onto the minion wave, but with the Impalers down, the push is considerably slowed.
Yeah, Lyric is back as well. He just resurrected and came back to life. Like, this tower shot or fort shot absorbing on a Zarya is always a risky thing to do when the enemy team is defending, right? So you don't want to overdo it. There goes an allied shield, an allied barrier, and the grenade build now has been completed for the Zarya. The Demolitions Expert completed, which means now that there's a lower cooldown on the grenades and a bigger radius of explosion.
which is going to be great. This is where Zarya used to be considered overpowered before changes, as she used to be able to spam those clears consistently and just snipe people from across the map and would usually actually top the damage chart. Who knows? Maybe she still will.
16 around the corner for both teams. Actually, RPG has been doing a pretty decent job of staying in the game, given the fact that 2 Punishers had already gone over to the side of SPT. And they're once again the team that is a little faster when it comes to rotating and posturing up there at the Infernal Shrine. Now C piercing through, trying to maybe put a little bit of pressure onto the enemy team, but 60 is not here, Tetcher. They need to be a little bit more patient. That mercenary wave, that minion wave was of course enough. Now, are we going to see a team fight erupt relatively soon?
3-17. SPT still in the lead. You can start to see a little bit of a slow wave clear by RPG. Early C pinging in the grenades, immediately up with the shield, and that energy count just soars as Soap gets the 2 monster chicken, but VP Dragon Arrow does land onto them. It doesn't actually get that much done here. But Stitches into the backline. Here comes the Salvo and the Riptide. Riptide not getting that much damage. Salvo also not that much. As no one is slowed here. MJ is able to sneak away in the back.
But the sustain is great on the side of SPT. They overpowered their opponents. They're forcing them back. Oh, wait a minute, there was still a healing fountain. Never mind, I take that back. So RPG trying to reinitiate. They now have the upper hand in terms of health bar. Melody C, though, saved by the roots. Can he make it out alive? Yes, he can. C now, on the other hand, dropping low, and those grenades are hammering down onto RPG.
Soap's going deep. The slows are good. Those spectral swings picking up 2 and preventing the escapes. Melody C now moves forward. Grenade actually accidentally dodged via hook, but the arrow's enough for the kill.
And that is the power of a slam build, Stitches. Not only are you going to have a lot of AoE wave clear and damage at your disposal, but you're also going to improve the performance of your own hooks, right? Because you can slow them now at level 16. You can slow the targets affected by your slam, making it pretty easy to predict where they're going to move. Your hook is going to be sealing the deal then as well. And all of a sudden, you know, SPT, they're trying to get maximum map pressure, maximum value, going for mercenary camps first before finishing the shrine, leaving it up at 39.
We have a very quick pause. We will get back into the game as soon as we can. But right now, SPT, they're beginning to creep ahead, despite RPG has been keeping up very nicely in terms of XP so far.
That is true. That is true, and it's only going to get worse from there, guys. The Punisher is about to be unleashed. 39. They're letting this one open on purpose, of course, as long as they have one hero nearby the shrine to continue finishing it any given moment. After taking mercenary camps and establishing a little bit of map pressure elsewhere, they're probably going to maybe even try to go for the keep, because if I recall correctly, the top fort on the side of RPG looked rather demolished already.
Yep, the fort is down. There was a fountain. It won't be there for long. But like you said, that does allow potential pressure onto that keep. So it's a question of how well RPG are going to be able to defend with 2 heroes down. 3 heroes down, sorry, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, one got hooked as well.
Yeah, should be 2 or 3, that's for sure. I'm quite impressed, I'm not going to lie, by RPG. I was worried when I saw the Zarya coming in, you know, and the Stitches together. I was like, aren't they overdoing it a little bit? One of the 2 heroes alone by themselves, that would have been fine. But up to this point, they're making it work like a charm, so I wouldn't have even needed to be worried in the first place.
We are back in. Misaka finds wrong, but not a gorge Stitches, so not able to catch him out. I do like the Zarya 4 and 16, the cleanse and the shield cooldown reduction, so that's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, Give Me 20 at 4 actually is a talent that we haven't seen in a long time. It used to be the go-to before it was nerfed several times, but of course, if completed, the shield value on shield ally is going to be increased by a pretty significant margin, and as you said, the cooldown reduction then allows for pretty hefty shielding altogether.
So we see the protection, once again, shielding it through. The Give Me 20, like you said, is very good, and with the the 16 cleansing shield, it is literally just a cleanse, and it reduces, when you do remove disabling effects, you reduce the cooldown of the shield by 3 seconds, so it's going to be even more effective against heroes like the Muradin, for example.
Okay, here comes the Punisher. It's a Mortar Punisher currently unleashed. Melody seeing a little bit of trouble, separated from the rest of his team. Is it a bait or is it a serious threat for SPT? Let's find out. The reinitiation, though, is good. The Expulsion Zone and the Entomb are forcing out the Divine Shield from Uther.
Divine Shield to keep Zeratul alive, but we do see the Riptide coming around from behind, chasing Lucky. He tries to kill off the Riptide and gets detonated, but in the backside, it is currently 3 for 2. Uther is trying to get to C to keep him alive, healing static value, but C still goes down.
Yeah, that is the power, of course, of the grenade build for Zarya here with the level 7 talent. More damage in the center of those grenades, and that's exactly what happened a couple of times. A beautiful hook there as well by Stitches, but Sa is safe for now. Can he run away from his Overwatch companion, the Zarya? No, the roots are too good, and I think Junkrat says bye-bye, and Melody's actually casually walking in there with a shield, so he would get even more energy. And ladies and gentlemen, unless a miracle happens for RPG, that could be the GG. The Punisher is getting distracted. Zarya is trying to shred and melt the core. They even have enough damage, Tetcher.
They should have enough damage, I would say. The shields from Melody C are just so good here. We're going to see a salvo. Melody C dropping low. Shield gives him a little bit more health and damage. Buried alive by Soap. That's going to buy them the time they need. And that is going to be GG, and SPT take the 2-0. Dragon Arrow delivers Hanzo for the end screen.
Made it in time. Victory achievement secured. Play of the game. All right. That was good. No, for the first time, I feel very pleased watching SPT in this phase.
Yeah.
They basically took some risks going for exotic drafts here and there, but you know what? They made it work. If you can make it work, it's fine.
I would agree. So nicely done, SPT. As I said earlier, a little bit too early, SPT now move themselves up to the first place position, with, though, BTG and the one still with a series to play.
What about KT, where they're currently standing at?
KT also have a series to play, but they could, even if they get a 2-0 in their next series, which will be tomorrow versus, sorry, not tomorrow, next week versus Team Nut, they will still be 1 point behind even if they get a 2-0.
What do you mean, not tomorrow, Tetcher? Aren't you keen on casting 10 more hours tomorrow?
I mean, I could nap the rest of the day and I would be fine. It's no open division tonight, so I can sleep.
Yes. Oh, man. Can you tell us how many hours you've slept over the last few days?
I've worked out after finishing Europe Open Division yesterday that I had cast 27 hours in the last 36. So if we include today, which we start at 8 my time, so 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's another 8 hours on top of that. So I've cast 35 hours in the last 2.5 days.
Give this man a medal. He deserves it.
Maths. It's cool. Stay in school.
Stay in school so you don't end up as a washed up HGC China caster like us.
Oh, well, I did school, sorta.
All right. No, I've been having a great time, and we're not completely done just yet. We're going to wait for the final analysis segment, you know, coming in from Nostally, and then I think we're going to have it done. And for those of you guys who are watching for the first time or who are not really familiar with the whole rule set and the schedule of HGC China before the Eastern Clash in Korea mid-August, we're only going to have 4 weeks total. It's going to be a 3-week schedule of regular play. And then the fourth final week, we're going to have the playoffs already because China has playoffs and crucibles after every single part of the phase. Whereas in Europe and North America and Korea, for example, you only have the crucibles at the end, you know, of a season. So that's a little less stressful for the teams, but, you know, I'm not going to complain. China has its own charm.
That it does. But here we see the MVP, Misaka. He has given himself a 50% win rate. Round of applause to Misaka.
Hey.
He's done it. Fix the legacy. Well done.
All right. Now, that's one thing less to worry about. You know, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wait for Nostally to guide us through some of the highlights of this series. And we've been talking a lot about SPT, you know, and them looking good again, and finally getting some points back. But I really think that RPG, that was not really the worst series. They gave up, they put up a good fight. Let's put it this way, right? They put up a good fight, especially in game one. I felt like it was never really over until it was over. Especially Chicken, once again, on that Tracer, showing us what he was capable of. And there's other players like Wrong, for example, like MJ, gradually but steadily improving. And I think the last word hasn't been spoken yet. I don't think that RPG necessarily has to go down to the Crucible if they continue improving.
I mean, they've been holding on by the skin of their teeth for about 5 seasons now, so it would not surprise me if they somehow lived again, either via winning in the Crucible or just not going there and managing to avoid it via the playoffs like they usually do. For now, though, we do see the replay analysis segment with Nostally, our Chinese replay analyst, which we cannot understand and also cannot lip read, so we shall be doing our own analysis. Hello, everyone.
Hello! I think this was the failed core attempt by SPT, in which, although Fawcett was killed earlier, Tracer is going to get a ridiculous set of stacks on her untouchable talent level 4. I'm not sure if it was SPT just playing sloppily or RPG defending so well, but this was already a pretty good attempt by MJ to keep them at bay. Never mind, was that actually the game-ending push? No, I think that was the game-ending push. My mistake. I don't think that was the core throw, because that was the false set death that happened after Li Ming, Melody Z had, with anticipation, dropped a repulsion and then executed him. So I think I take that back. I think that was the game-ending push after all. Was it? Let's see. No, it wasn't. It was the core wipe.
This is where it went wrong, yeah. Where Chicken just starts wrecking people because he's got all the health regen. He's back to full from having like less than a fifth.
Like, now that I'm watching it in the replays, I realize how crazy that throw even was. You know, he had Siege Steins, Mercenaries, Catapults, all knocking on the door, and then you just go for the greedy kills like China likes to do so many times, and you throw it away.
And here we see something from game number 2. Zarya, Expulsion Zone, is at the ready, but Wrong is the one who's diving very deep already, trying to set up for maximum damage output.
Yep, here we go. That was game number 2. We see the VP go down, only on one enemy. And you can already see, look at the positioning of SPT here. They fully anticipated. And I think No is actually, oh, look at that brain synergy across the pond. He was actually highlighting the exact same thing. The positioning was so good by SPT that they didn't get hit initially, but they're running now willingly into it so that they save a little bit of a damage deal. But it's always a difference whether you run willingly into it or you get caught by it. So well played by SPT.
And the Dragon Arrow, it has been launched. Very cool pause there. It's very short range though, so it's not a big stun, and I don't even know if it actually hits. Yes, it does just Uther while they're in the VP, so minimal possible value there. But as the Riptire, as the VP expires, no Riptire. They didn't get the Wombo.
Yeah, and that's of course.
Now comes out.
Yeah, now the Riptire comes out, but I think it actually gets destroyed because it's chasing down the Stitches. No, it was actually, that was a different team fight.
Yeah, it's got no damage.
Yeah, no damage whatsoever. Because if you can't execute that Wombo Schmombo, you know, with the VP into the Riptire, then your strongest weapon remains useless, and you need those to win team fights, man.
Well, nicely played by SPT. Able to, despite a very close core throw in the first game, they were able to recover, and they took the 2-0. And nicely done by them. They move into first place for the moment, where they feel like they should be. But there are still plenty more games left to go through, including some wonderful ones, as we shall point out once we get next week's schedule up on the screen.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed today's games, the games of yesterday and the day before yesterday, then feel free to spread the word on social media. Tell your friends in Heroes of the Storm about the craziness, the madness that is HGC China. And here we take a look at the final table, the final scores here, with SPT the one sharing first place. But as Tetris said, I believe the one is up 1 game.
No,
SPT is up 1 game.
SPT is up 1
there we
game.
Go.
SPT have played 10 maps. The One and Beyond the Game have played 8. Same with KT. CE have played 10. A-Team have played 10 and RPG have played 10.
Yeah, next Monday, starting at 9 a.m. CEST, which should be midnight Pacific time for all of you NA people out there. We're going to continue with more action, 6 series per day. We're going to keep up that super packed schedule because Eastern Clash is around the corner, and we want to enable the best environment for Chinese players getting visas and all the other goodness. So with that being said, Tetcher, the final words belong to you because you've had a rough week with the Open Division and HGC China. I bow to you for doing this with me and not leaving me hanging in the open. I really appreciate it. So any final words to say before we close the show?
Sleep is for the weak. Casting is cool. Kendrick is cool. Grubby is cool. China's cool. Europe's cool. I'm out of cool. I'm very warm. Goodbye.
I say moo. Bye-bye. Have a good day. And see you again. We'll see you again next Monday with more Open Division in Europe. And most importantly, more HGC China. Take care, guys.
Bye.